Hi, and welcome to our webinar on how Progress Kemp LoadMaster can help maintain always-on access to critical healthcare applications. Before we get started, my name is Michael O'Brien, and I'm a senior sales engineer working for Progress in EMEA, with a focus area on all things load balancing, infrastructure, and network related. I joined Progress through their acquisition of Kemp in 2021, having worked with Kemp since 2016. My career has spanned roles in all tiers of network support, pre-sales activity, and solutions architecture. Within my current role, I work alongside a skilled team of pre-sales engineers and regional sales representatives within EMEA. My role centers mainly around the proof of concept stage, any design and consultation work, and the sizing and scoping aspects for the Progress Kemp LoadMaster product family. In today's webinar, we will look to focus on the following areas. First off, we'll start off with a little context around who Progress Kemp are, our market positioning, and who we will compete with directly. We'll then have a more in-depth look at the product offering, our solution benefits, and where we best fit. Moving on from the product aspect, I'll give a quick brief on licensing options before moving into a more in-depth look at healthcare-specific use cases and customer case studies. To begin, let's give a little context as to who Progress Kemp are. Progress Kemp provide application delivery and load balancing solutions which directly compete with the likes of F5 for their big IP product or Citrix for Citrix ADC. Now, in terms of market positioning, the key part here is that we sell completely cross-vertical in almost every business size. Progress Kemp is trusted with over 100,000 deployments in 138 countries. We have offerings to cover the SMB, mid-sized to enterprise level customers, and MSPs or CSPs. You will see examples of educational, automotive, financial, wherever there's a need for application uptime, high availability, security functionality, we sit there. The other important aspect here are the technology ecosystems that we work with. There are several ISVs that we work with for use cases like remote desktop solutions, mail services, web services. The key part is that we essentially support any TCP or UDP-based application. Another important point from this slide is that we are the #1 customer-rated load balancer on the market from the likes of Gartner Peer Insights and G2. The main reasons for this are our direct support model, which is considered to be one of the best in industry, and also our ease of use factor. Progress Kemp offer a follow-the-sun 24/7 support model available from our US, EMEA, and APJ offices. We acquired Flowmon Networks in November of 2020, and we were acquired ourselves by Progress Software in November of 2021. LoadMaster is considered to be the #1 customer-rated application experience platform on the market. Our CSAT scoring is pretty much always in the 90s. By way of comparison, our direct competitors F5 have a CSAT scoring in the mid-80s, and also Citrix are somewhere typically in the low 70s. This really stands to the strength of the solution's post-sales support offering, and customers are actively providing positive feedback for the solution based on the engineer's capability and also the issue being dealt with in a timely manner. Our NPS scoring is also considered to be world-class with an NPS score of 60+. Progress remains a global leader in load balancing across all deployment models, including dedicated hardware, with over 100,000 deployments worldwide across all deployment types, and also a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Gartner Peer Insights and 4.7 out of 5 on G2 Business Technology and Software Review platform. These high ratings that are consistent over time show that Progress Kemp LoadMaster's load balancing solution is an industry leader for application delivery that provides reliability, market-leading support, product innovation, and is also considered to be another pillar in the cybersecurity strategy of organizations that adapt and deploy the solution. This slide shows a number of customer reviews, with the main feedback really being about the stability, ease of use, and strong post-sale support of the solution. LoadMaster is typically a set and forget type product, where once the configuration is moved into a production state, then only minor changes, if any, are required over time. So what is an application delivery controller? An ADC is essentially a fancy term for a load balancer. ADCs, or load balancers, have been a critical piece of infrastructure to help organizations like yours ensure application availability and security. Usually, this type of solution is delivered as a physical or a virtual appliance, typically in a pair for high availability. The load balancer sits in front of the application to optimize access and availability to the app. This includes providing security features in the form of SSL offloading and a web application firewall to protect applications from attack. LoadMaster enhances application delivery by allowing you to gain insight on application delivery analytics and health to optimize and improve application experience and maintain high availability and performance. They also help secure the application delivery chain by implementing access controls and other security measures, while also seamlessly integrating cloud and on-premise application delivery management into a single point for total visibility and control. ProgressKimp LoadMaster is a high-performance application delivery controller and load balancer that enhances availability, scalability, performance, and security in cloud, hybrid cloud, and on-premise environments worldwide. LoadMaster enables multi-cloud applications and provides users with access in the event of an application server outage. The solution allows admin to scale application resources with virtual, cloud-native, or hardware deployments, and offers simplified, cost-effective licensing options. With layered application security and access control, LoadMaster also helps protect your critical applications and their data from unwanted exposure. The SaaS dashboard Progress LoadMaster 360 provides organizations of all sizes with the visibility and insights necessary to maintain optimal application and load balancer performance. As a cloud service, LoadMaster 360 provides a unified, customizable view of application delivery performance, actionable insights into security states, and certificate lifecycle management. To simplify deployment, LoadMaster has more than 100 application templates covering all the major application workloads. This allows rapid deployment of workloads using industry standard best practices for the setup. As a result, deploying LoadMaster typically takes a few hours as opposed to a few days, which is often the case with other load balancing solutions. In this slide, we can see multiple application logos for supported templates with particular reference to healthcare use cases. Some of these use cases include workloads like always-on VPN, virtual desktop environments, and digital imaging systems, which typically are dispersed across multiple sites. Leveraging application templates allows complex workloads like these to be configured by best practice on every deployment. Regardless of template availability, LoadMaster makes configuring workloads from scratch very simple and intuitive. Workloads can be stood up into production environments quickly and start generating value for users. We see this also reflected in professional service engagements, where the delivery aspect is typically 1, 2, or 3 days worth of implementation services. In October of 2023, we released LoadMaster 360. This solution is a hosted unified application delivery platform designed to provide a single pane of glass experience to deploy, operate, and troubleshoot applications and delivery infrastructure. LoadMaster 360 is a SaaS offering that will deliver more value from LoadMaster. It provides our customers with an easier way to manage their application delivery infrastructure. The solution is an add-on for LoadMaster and is applicable to all LoadMaster customers. On our current release, you have access to several important features, namely application analytics and telemetry options, which provide comprehensive dashboards for monitoring application performance, health, and security. Certificate lifecycle management and automation to help orchestrate certificate and key management, while also providing notifications on expiring certificates to prevent outages. The solution also provides a full incident management center, which helps manage issues when they occur with context-rich critical alerts for timely response, while also managing noise. From a security perspective, the solution helps with application security monitoring and tuning. With our new enhanced WAF feature, we deliver improved security insights, minimize the time required for WAF configuration and tuning, and reduce the occurrence of false positive alerts. The solution is built with usability and experience in mind, with optimized workflows, visually stunning data modeling, a modern UI, and is also usable by non-experts. When it comes to load balancing, Progress Kemp provides the industry's most flexible options, including a robust family of virtual load balancers that run on common hypervisor platforms, cloud load balancers that can be deployed natively from within AWS and Azure marketplaces, as well as hyper-performance hardware. Progress offers the LoadMaster solution as a completely cross-platform product. The solution can be deployed on-premise by a dedicated hardware or virtual appliance, and also on public cloud environments. We have hardware devices ranging all the way from 1 gigabit per second layer 7 throughput through to 90 gigabits per second layer 7 throughput, with all of the bases covered network connectivity wise. LoadMaster hardware is available with 1 gigabit copper ports only, a mixture of 1 gigabit per second copper ports and 10 gigabit per second SFP plus ports, and also a mixture of the above, coupled with both 25 gigabit QSFP28 ports and 100 gigabit QSFP plus ports. On the virtual slide, the solution can be purchased perpetually by subscription, pay-as-you-go on cloud, or through OpEx pooled approaches with sizes of instances type ranging from 500 megabits per second through to unrestricted throughput. On-premise, we support all of the mainstay hypervisors such as Microsoft Hyper-V, ESXi, KVM, and Nutanix. We also offer native cloud offerings on AWS and Azure marketplaces. Progress also offers a purely OpEx-based licensing model, namely pooled subscription licensing. Pooled subscriptions are available in a range of sizes to meet your business requirements. They may also be upgraded in situ, allowing the painless scaling of capacity. Pool licensing allows end users to share application delivery bandwidth across on-premise data centers and cloud infrastructure to enable rapid provisioning of application delivery capacity. Bandwidth may be issued from the license pool to boost existing capacity or to deliver new capacity and be recovered when not being used. Centralized license management is managed through Progress LoadMaster 360. Benefits of this approach include a cost-effective licensing option to reduce overhead and simplify budgeting, the flexibility to assign licenses dynamically and scale capacity when needed, the efficient resource allocation across load balancing infrastructure, and a simplified procurement of LoadMaster licenses and capacity. Now to focus on some of the common healthcare-specific use cases that we see. The first common one would be around multiple sites. LoadMaster provides a global server load balancing features, GSLB, which delivers critical high availability for applications that are geographically dispersed anywhere in the world. By intelligently redirecting traffic, GSLB eliminates server overload conditions, delivering a better quality experience for connected users. There are some additional use cases for global server load balancing, such as business continuity and disaster recovery, where LoadMaster lowers the mean time to recovery with seamless failover to a designated recovery site. And also in hybrid cloud environments, where the LoadMaster intelligently and transparently load balances traffic between on-premises and cloud environments. Always-on VPN and the delivery of VPN load balancing is another key aspect for helping healthcare providers meet the demand of remote users connecting into central locations. Eliminating single points of failure in the always-on VPN architecture means you can ensure the highest level of availability for the remote access solution. VPN servers can be made highly available using KIMP LoadMaster Load Balancer. LoadMaster can be configured to accept inbound VPN connections and intelligently distribute them to all configured VPN servers. Traffic can be distributed in round robin or optionally based on the number of connections or by a percentage as defined by the administrator. LoadMaster delivers site availability for geographic scaling and disaster recovery scenarios. Global server load balancing technology is available within the LoadMaster Geo solution to provide a comprehensive load balancing solution. Major advantages of LoadMaster for always-on VPN include load balancing for Radius and RAS servers, support for both IKEv2 and SSTP protocols, redundancy and failover with LoadMaster Geo, and also geographic load balancing with LoadMaster Geo. We see quite a few use cases around digital imaging, specifically PAC systems. Picture archiving and communication systems provide the ability to transport patient studies between hospitals quickly, securely, and reliably. The Progress Camp LoadMaster delivers an exceptional, cost-effective, and easy-to-use solution, which by employing high availability, global server load balancing, intelligent load balancing, and server health checking, can help support the always-on experience for PACS-based systems. Progress Camp LoadMaster delivers increased network performance and reliability by removing single points of failure, both within a single data center or across multiple data centers. With Kemp, the availability and performance of vendor-neutral archive is easily delivered by supporting multiple data centers and providing seamless failover in the event of a site outage. LoadMaster constantly monitors the status of key components of PAC systems and can immediately detect and mitigate service outages or degradation by redirecting traffic to available and healthy services, ensuring continued availability. PAC systems help solve the operational challenges of the enterprise imaging strategy by establishing a secure health information exchange network between collaborating health providers. Progress Camp LoadMaster ensures that access to PACs is always available and therefore providing the essential connectivity required to complete the PAC solution. Progress Camp LoadMaster provides a cost-effective approach to load balancing virtual desktop solutions such as Horizon View that ensures that application and desktop services have maximum availability. To achieve high availability and scalability, Omnessa recommends that multiple connection servers, identity managers, app volume managers, and unified access gateway roles be deployed with a load balancer. The LoadMaster is used to load balance the Omnessa Unified Access Gateway, connection servers, Workspace ONE Access, and App Volume Manager. LoadMaster offers advanced Layer 4 and Layer 7 server load balancing, SSL acceleration, and a multitude of other advanced application delivery controller features. The LoadMaster intelligently and efficiently distributes user traffic among the application servers so that users get the best experience possible. LoadMaster also delivers increased network performance and reliability by removing single points of failure and optimizing the client security. Unified Access Gateway is typically deployed in a DMZ. For high availability and scalability requirements in a production deployment, several Unified Access Gateway appliances are usually set up behind a load balancer. The LoadMaster is then deployed inline as a proxy for all servers, including PCU IP. Connection server is another core component of Omnissa Horizon. This role defines virtual desktop pools, applications, and permissions within the environment. The primary Horizon protocol is then load balanced between connection servers in the environment. Now to look at a customer case study with ImageTrend. ImageTrend provides electronic patient care reporting for EPCR applications, data analytics, and IT services, enabling fully integrated patient-centric healthcare to customers such as fire departments, emergency medical services, hospitals, and critical care facilities. In more than 2/3 of American states, ImageTrend is the sole provider to EMS and fire departments. ImageTrend's main product, Elite, is used by paramedics and firefighters in the field to collect on-scene data about patients, incidents, drugs administered, and patients' medical conditions. ImageTrend was using Microsoft's application request routing, so their ARR solution, which acts as an extension to IIS services, enabling an IIS server to function as a load balancer. The company sought a more secure solution for load balancing and web termination, but it also wanted flexibility in moving around workloads, which few physical appliances offer. ImageTrend separates all its clients into tenants, which are logical groupings. There is no overlap among tenants, such that customers are never co-located on a particular app server. Running hundreds of separate tenants across the company's half-dozen main applications means that ImageTrend continuously runs 500 to 600 client-specific web applications. ImageTrend subscribed to a LoadMaster subscription license, which allowed them to deploy as many LoadMaster instances as they wished and offered a fixed price for the subscribed overall capacity. This provided ease of management by enabling rapid deployment and configuration of LoadMaster instances using PowerShell automation and the LoadMaster's RESTful API interface. Scalability issues were solved as they were able to deploy new virtual instances on demand without having to go through a procurement process due to subscription licensing. ImageTrend standardized on deploying LoadMasters in high availability pairs to maximize uptime. This simplified compliance by providing granular control over SSL cipher suites and methods used to secure client connections, completely independent of the applications. With centralized control and automation, security policies could be applied and enforced consistently across all assets. This enabled them to achieve external validation from Qualys, known as an A+ SSL rating. Subscription licensing also made it cost-effective to deploy LoadMaster HA pairs on a per application or per customer basis. Next, we will look at an interview with Josef Mangiera at Imperial College NHS Trust discussing the specifics of their LoadMaster deployment. Hi, Josef. So thanks so much for taking the time to sit down and have a chat with us today. First off, maybe you could give us a quick introduction and a little brief on your role with Imperial.
Yeah, so I'm Josef Mangiera. I'm a technical architect for Imperial College Healthcare, which is a Northwest London acute trust. We operate, I've been with Imperial for now 22 years, so it's a considerable time in one organization. But I've seen digital transformation from the early outset of mainframes, little or no data centers, to now operating two large geographic data centers, as well as some on-prem server rooms, which are still kind of legacy that we're consolidating. But ultimately, it's a large organization that spans three major acute hospitals, which is St Mary's, Hammersmith, and Charing Cross hospitals, as well as a number of satellite sites across Northwest London. And as we kind of look into the future and what we've already started in a Northwest London acute provider collaborative strategy, there are 4 Northwest London hospitals that form part of the Northwest London Acute Provider Collaborative, where we are aligning a lot of our strategy. We have a single ICT CIO that is the CIO of the 4 hospitals. So you can see where this is going in terms of aligning clinical services, technology, applications, user experience, etc., across 4 major independent hospitals. So that's, in terms of maturity and digital maturity across the 4, from a APC level, we are quite far ahead in that goal, and that realization of that goal is not far off.
Perfect. Cheers, Joseph. So what would you say your main use cases are for LoadMaster within your environment?
So we invested in the LoadMasters, probably 8, 9, possibly 10 years ago, and that was kind of moving from what we previously had, which were some Cisco content filters, or these were legacy, not very smart or intelligent, just kind of sent traffic to places. But we had that, and it kind of came around a time where Cisco stopped or exited the load balancing market. And we were at a point where we were looking at multiple vendors for a load balancing solution. As you're probably aware, NHS and public sector generally, budgets are very constrained. Our primary spend on any budgets is to deliver patient care and clinical services. So trying to fight for budgets to deliver technology that complements patient care and patient care delivery is always something we have to justify, and it goes through levels of scrutiny in order to achieve. So we looked at the market several years ago, actually about 10 years ago, across the load balancing arena, and we eventually settled on Kemp for a kind of highly available geographic solution for multiple instances. We operate 5 instances of load balancing in various parts of our network. So that was 10 plus years ago, and the main reason behind that was we wanted to kind of move away. The immediate challenge was people hard coding and developing references for systems directly within applications and code, whether that's software developed applications or Excel spreadsheets or Access databases. There were always links that pointed to an IP address or pointed to a host name. And that made migrations and transitions a lot more difficult. So we wanted to mask everything behind a common name that for the clients would always remain the same, but fundamentally behind that, infrastructure can change and continuity can be continued. So that was the primary aim. Of course, the other aims were to be more balanced in the way we deliver services in a controlled, in a load balance, in a distributed way. It also fundamentally fed into our maintenance plans. So we had far more flexibility on how we delivered updates, maintenance, patches, security, anything from 0-day all the way down to your routine patch Tuesdays. And it gave us the ability and the luxury of managing this without incurring any downtime or service affecting updates that would cause services to go down. And you have to understand that we're not a 9-to-5 business. We are a hospital that runs 24/7. Services are continually used to deliver care. Clinicians, consultants, doctors fundamentally depend on the data they have from the systems in order to deliver accurate healthcare. So those were the fundamental reasons why we looked at load balancing in general. Since then, we've developed and started harnessing a lot of the additional technologies that load balancing has developed from standard load balancing and distribution of traffic to now more application delivery controllers, where you've got far more intelligence into layer 7 type visibilities, SSL termination, re-encryption, decryption, those kind of things that require far more horsepower, far more processing. And with that, with the additional WAF controls, that gives us, from an internal point of view, which is generally overlooked, internal security is, and should be treated the same as you treat your external and your perimeter security. So we adopted that framework. We moved to a standardization approach across all services internally and of course externally. Our TLS terminated, certificate based, no more HTTP, and layering that with the WAF controls as well as all the availability controls with geo load balancing, etc. We have come to realize the benefits that brings, and now it sits in our environment in the background. It does its thing, and it gives us and our security teams the confidence that things are being managed. Of course, we monitor all alerts. We send all our centralized alerts to our centralized platforms, and that is monitored. And about 2 years ago, we as our networks have improved, we've implemented a lot of underlying technology to support our infrastructure over the years. So we have dark fibers, we operate our own dark fibers, so our connectivity to our data centers is now and has been for a number of years now, high performance, high bandwidth with multi homing, diverse paths, etc. And that also brought in some capabilities to where we had free internal instances of physical load balancers due to the limitations of bandwidth across the sites and due to some of the layer 2 availability across our multiple sites. With the new infrastructure and with some of the high bandwidth networks that we put in, it now allows us to consolidate free independent instances of high availability pairs of LoadMasters to a single pair across 2 data centers. So we've got heartbeats across the 2, but ultimately that allows us to consolidate with much larger LoadMasters, but ultimately gives us a single pair to manage, but delivering the same as we did before, but in a more central manner.
Yeah, cheers. So how do you find working with the solution?
I have to say, it's one of the more simpler solutions to manage. I mean, there is a lot of technical capability, but from a day-to-day operational point and from a project initiation and project delivery point of view, it is very, very simple. And 2 reasons why. One is the Kemp portal, or the support portal, offers a lot of templated designs. So that's a very quick head start into getting a templated design for the most common infrastructure or services types that most organizations would look to deploy. So you have a lot of that. Secondly, the ability to set up very simple services and build on that is quite good. And everything is instant. There's no latency in changes that you apply. It's absolutely instant. And then in addition to that, both the Kemp communities and Kemp support are phenomenal in terms of what you want to do. So once you've kind of got it to a point where you are now stuck, where you don't have the right subject matter expert, it's just a simple request to support to get assistance, and the knowledge that comes from the support teams is, it's far-reaching. I don't think I've had an issue or an instance where the query could not be answered through the support teams.
Sure, that's great. It's amazing. So what would you say your buying experience was like?
The buying experience, I think the buying experience has been, from the outset, 10 years ago, it was, we put out a bid or a tender requirement with some specifications as to what we required, the answers that we got back, and the alignment of our requirements, in addition to the value adds that we got from Kemp, I think, made that decision. But fundamentally, I think, one thing that I haven't really gone into was the commercials. When we looked at and this is going back 10 years, and my recollection of that was looking at that alongside 2 other industry leaders, I think Kemp came in probably 40 to 50% less in terms of commercial costs for an equivalent solution, if not at least from our requirement point of view, certainly met the requirement, but exceeded in the value adds of the additional capabilities that we at the time did not consider or had not had a specific requirement for, but these features were included within the base cost. And it gave us the opportunity to run for a number of years and use those features and realize those value adds. And ultimately, as we kind of got down to the end of the 5 years and we had to refresh, I think we've gone through 2 refreshes, and I think we did look at alternatives at the time, but I think ultimately we were happy with the solution in terms of what it delivered, and commercially, even down to the last 2 refreshes, the cost was still priced at an affordable, but also comparatively to the other vendors, it was still better in that scenario. And we've looked at, in the last 2 years, we've looked at not just physical and virtual load balancer, but also load balancers provided from some of our existing technologies that had value adds or that had additional add-on modules or licenses. So we've been quite happy with the solution, and we've obviously been using the solution for a number of years. We do run a lot of other type solutions in lab environments for PLC purposes and for review purposes. We do have in the organization, as part of managed service deliveries, where in some cases there are other vendor load balancers in play. But what we found with the Kemps and the LoadMasters in general was that it's very easy and intuitive to use, very flexible in your approaches for load balancing, and of course the variations. Everything can be done in many ways, and to find the most efficient way is always a nice thing to have.
Absolutely, yeah. So do you intend to extend your use case with the product going forward?
Absolutely. So we, as I kind of mentioned, we've gone through 2 refreshes in 10 years. The initial purchase plus 2 refreshes is what I mean. We've consolidated where our networks have been more designed for a single site and for layer 2 capability. So now we operate from 2 sites in a high availability pair. In addition to that, as we kind of move more and more services to cloud, in terms of clouds tenants that we operate from, that we run ourselves as Imperial, we have presence in Azure. We've been an Imperial tenant, and that's for both production services and for a very large research cluster and a secure data enclave. We, of course, are looking at, at the moment we use traffic managers and some application gateways, etc. But at some point in time, we will be looking to extend load balancing into Azure. And also we have a presence in Oracle Cloud, and that may be a consideration as well. So there are things that we may, we do run a number of VLMs in our DMZ environments for services that we host from our on-premise data centers. So we have those VLMs, and we may look to relicense or transfer those licenses into Azure in future as well. So there are a lot of possibilities, and there's a lot of moving parts with our cloud strategy, as well as our long-term ambitions to consolidate across the Northwest London sector, which also incorporates 3 other acute trusts.
Sure, absolutely. So what would you say your experience has been with or supporting?
I did cover a little bit of that in the earlier conversations, but as I kind of said, the support teams are subject matter experts, and it's not like a first line, second line, third line where I speak to someone, then that gets passed on to someone else to triage, and it then gets passed on to someone else. Everyone I've spoken to in the last 10 years is the only person I'm speaking to. Whether it's a simple query or a very complex natured query, it would be with that single individual. Other individuals can be brought in to provide some additional context or additional skill sets, but in general, one person is the only person I speak to, and generally speaking, everything that I've asked for, from very simple requests to very complex requests, have been tailored to my requirements and answered specifically based around the context that I have brought forward and the requirements that I have brought forward, and the exact requirements for what we would want to run in our very specific or bespoke or our niche requirements.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So
And
would you say
probably just to add to that, the response time. So generally speaking, if I log something, I generally get an engineer within a few hours of raising it. So I'm not waiting for days, and that's just a standard medium priority. I haven't yet had to use kind of a high priority request.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So would you recommend this solution to other healthcare providers?
I think specifically for public sector organizations, healthcare councils, public services, especially with budget constraints, with budget cuts. There's a lot of cuts within the public sector, and people don't realize, and sometimes providers don't realize that healthcare, specifically healthcare vendors, the majority of the budget and the prioritization of the budget is not so much for IT and for IT delivery of services. It's more for delivering patient care and better user experience for delivering healthcare. So justifying, and as I kind of mentioned, justifying costs for services that far exceed the cost of some of the other providers, but in terms of feature parity are identical or very close. So from a procurement point of view, LoadMasters from Kemp and Progress seem to be the best placed from a commercial offering and in terms of capability and feature parity. And I would definitely recommend Kemp LoadMasters specifically on that commercial aspect. And that's without losing any capability that you may have from other providers. And there are, it's a congested market now with a lot of software-defined providers. But with heritage and with a long history of providing a solution that I think the solution has been running for many years, so it carries a lot of history and a lot of experience and a lot of offerings in terms of capability that I guess makes it far more easier and more comfortable to commit to. And my experience over the last 10 years or so has been just that. We haven't had a need to look at other providers apart from looking at commercials. From a technical point of view, it delivers exactly. And you also have to kind of take on the fact that it's been LoadMasters from Kemp have been acquired by Progress, and that also brings in a lot more capability, technology integrations, and more visibility into traffic. And ultimately, it's traffic we're dealing with here. So having that visibility and having the capability to bring in new features as the industry changes is always something that you would commit to with a provider that has a roadmap, and that's always been a positive with Kemp and now with Progress.
Perfect. Thanks so much for your time, Yusuf. It's really appreciated on our end, and I definitely found the chat very insightful. Thank you.
No worries at all.
Before we finish up, just want to give a few words on our professional service offering and also how you can gain access to our product trial. The LoadMaster Professional Services team provides expertise and insight to ensure the rapid and issue-free deployment of load balancing resources. We evaluate, plan, design, and implement your load balancing environment with a personalized service that brings the experience of over 100,000 implementations to your deployment. Professional service engagements can range anything from the planning or design phase of a project through to support during the cutover into production. Professional services can be sized by the day rate, such that customers can choose a day, 2 days, or 3 days as standard. For more custom or complex implementations, our services team are more than happy to scope the statement of work so that it is clear from the offset what needs to be implemented. All engagements are documented from start to finish, so there is an audit of the work completed for change management reports. Training and environment configuration audits are also available to ensure that everything is best practice and end users are up to speed with how their configuration is working and also how to add in the solution going forward. After hearing some solid reasons why the Progress Kimp LoadMaster offers far more value for your investment, taking a real test drive of the LoadMaster in your own environment is a simple process. We provide a full-featured and fully supported trial, not just for virtual products for on-premise or cloud deployments, but also for hardware if there's a need. Access our webpage at kimp.ax to begin the process. Thank you for your time during today's webinar. Please feel free to reach out if you have any follow-up questions.